Was there a specific moment that you remember whenever you realized to yourself, "Man, I can do this. I can quit my job."
People probably look back at me, and I might even look back at me and think I was kind of crazy to do it too, because I was, I guess, around 26 or 27 years old. But when you're 26 or 27, you probably think you can do almost anything. And it was, I just said to myself, if I quit and get one new client a week or something of that sort, I can make a living at this. So originally, like a lot of people, I worked out of my home for my first year or two,
Yeah.
and worked on building up the business. And also kind of a key was I kind of figured out, I just can't go out there maybe and find clients completely cold. I was able to work out a relationship with a discount stock brokerage firm where they help refer clients my way. And I would give presentations on how I thought we could invest, and was a very low key way of just really educating about how to invest. And if it made sense, then I got clients through that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so you're doing this all by yourself for how long was it that you were doing this by yourself before you hired your
Oh,
first employee?
yeah, I think my first employee came like 3 or 4 years later, so
Yeah.
3 or 4 years into it. Yeah.
And what was the thing that you hired your first employee to do?
Well, I think it was actually my wife who I took out of her job, start doing some of the bookkeeping here, at the house, and keeping track of the client portfolios with the software that was just coming out to do that. So this was very front edge, by the way, the whole investment advisory industry, which is now a very big industry, but
Yeah.
in the late 1980s, it was in its infancy. And so the software around that industry, and the firms like Charles Schwab and Fidelity, which have a big business of partnering with investment advisors, they were just looking at going into that business back at
Yeah.
that time. Schwab was actually the first, and they started it in the late 1980s.
Yeah. And I mean, having started in 1987, you've seen a lot of things happen in the industry and the economy and everything like that. And you've also seen your business grow substantially since obviously 1987. How many employees do you have now?
Well, the number of employees is still relatively small. We have like
Yeah.
11 or 12 employees, but
Okay.
we do manage about $1.7 billion, which is quite a bit of money for
Yeah.
even a 10 or 12 person employee firm.
Yeah. And so yeah, that give me a second to take that in. Yeah, that is a sizable amount of money.
Never losing focus because I ain't chasing payments. Still playing in the basement while I'm working on arrangements. They heard the kid in 50 countries, thank God that's amazing. But I'd rather thank Spotify, they put me on the station.